In this session, I am going to discuss you about performance analysis of a conventional air heater. Before that, we want to know what is a solar air heater. Solar air heater is a device which uses solar thermal technology in which the energy from the sun is captured by an absorbing medium and used to heat air. Solar air heating is a renewable energy heating technology. The principal applications in which solar air heaters are used are drying for agricultural and industrial purposes and space heating. Here I show a picture of a conventional solar air heater. A conventional solar air heater generally consists of an absorber plate with a parallel plate below forming a passage of high aspect ratio through which the air to be heated flows. A transparent cover system is provided above the absorber plate while a sheet metal container filled with insulation is provided on the bottom and sides. The solar air heater can be constructed with the face areas of solar air heaters ranges from 1 to 2 meter square. Materials of construction and sizes are similar to those used with the liquid flat plate collectors. Thus, the absorber plate is a metal sheet about 1 millimeter in thickness, usually made up of galvanized iron or steel. Glass of thickness 4 to 5 millimeter is the most commonly used cover material. However, plastics are being used in increasing numbers. Mineral wool or glass wool of thickness 5 to 8 cm is used for the bottom and side insulation. The whole assembly is contained in a sheet metal box and inclined at a suitable angle. The advantages of solar air heaters are: a solar air heater is simple in design and requires little maintenance. Since the fluid does not freeze, the solar air heater does not require any special attention at temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius. Corrosion and leakage problems are less severe. Next, the disadvantages of solar air heaters are: the value of heat transfer coefficient between the absorber plate and the air is low, and this results in a lower efficiency. For this reason, the surfaces are sometimes roughened or longitudinal fins are provided in the airflow passage. Next, the large volumes of fluid have to be handled. As a result, the electrical power required to blow the air through a system can be significant if the pressure drop is not kept within the prescribed limits. Now we can discuss the performance analysis of a conventional air heater. Consider the performance analysis of the conventional air heater shown in the figure. The air heater has an absorber plate of length L1 and width L2. The air flows in a parallel plate passage below the absorber plate. The analysis is due to Villiers and proceeds along lines identical to those adopted for the liquid flat plate collector for the calculation of tau alpha B, tau alpha D, UT and UV. Consider a slice of width L2 and thickness dx at a distance x from the inlet. We write the energy balances for the absorber plate, the plate below it, and the air flowing in between. We assume the bulk mean temperature of air changes from Tf to Tf plus dTf as it flows through the distance dx. The air mass flow rate is m dot. The mean temperatures of the absorber plate and the plate below are Tpm and Tbm respectively, and their variation may be neglected. And also the side losses can be neglected. We can write the energy balance equation for the absorber plate, the plate below it, and the air flowing in between as: for the absorber plate, the energy balance equation is SL2 dx is equal to UTL2 dx into Tpm minus Ta plus HFP L2 dx into Tpm minus Tf plus sigma L2 dx divided by 1 by epsilon P plus 1 by epsilon B minus 1 into Tpm raised to 4 minus TBm raised to 4. For bottom plate, the energy balance equation is sigma L2 dx divided by 1 by epsilon P plus 1 by epsilon B minus 1 into TPM raised to 4 minus TBM raised to 4, which is equal to HFB L2 dx into TBM minus TF plus UB L2 dx into TBM minus TA. For the airstream, the energy balance equation is given as m dot Cp dTf is equal to HFP L2 dx into TPM minus TF plus HFB L2 dx into TBM minus TF. In this, S is the flux absorbed in the absorber plate, Ut is the top loss coefficient based on the temperature difference TPM minus TF. Similarly, UB is the bottom loss coefficient based on the temperature difference TBM minus TF, where HFP is the convective heat transfer coefficient between the absorber plate and airstream. HFB is the convective heat transfer coefficient between the bottom plate and the airstream. Epsilon P is the emissivity of the absorber plate surface and epsilon B is the emissivity of the bottom plate surface. While writing the energy balance equations 1 to 3, we distinguish between HFP and HFB, the convective heat transfer coefficients. However, this distinction is usually not made in the correlations available for calculating the convective heat transfer coefficients. Thus, while using the correlations, we will have to assume HFP is equal to HFB. Now, we introduce an equivalent radiative heat transfer coefficient HR, which is defined in this case by HR into TPM minus TBM, which is equal to sigma divided by 1 by epsilon P plus 1 by epsilon B minus 1 into TPM raised to 4 minus TBM raised to 4. For small values of the temperature difference TPM minus TBM, it is readily shown that the expression TPM raised to 4 minus TBM raised to 4 can be approximated by the expression 4T average cube into TPM minus TBM, where T average is equal to TPM plus TBM divided by 2. Then HR can be written as 4 sigma T average cube divided by 1 by epsilon P plus 1 by epsilon B minus 1. Further, it is assumed for the purpose of simplification that the bottom loss coefficient UB is much smaller in magnitude than the top loss coefficient UT. Consequently, the bottom loss term can be deleted from equation 2 and clubbed with the top loss term in equation 1. Thus, equations 1 to 3 can be reduced to 2. Here, the equation 1 can be reduced to S is equal to UL into TPM minus TA plus HFP into TPM minus TF plus HR into TPM minus TBM. The second equation can be reduced to HR into TPM minus TBM, which is equal to HFP into TPM minus TF. The equation 3 can be reduced to m dot Cp divided by L2 into TTF divided by dx is equal to HFP into TPM minus TF plus HFP into TBM minus TF. Then from equation 6 we get TBM, which is equal to HR into TPM plus HFB TF divided by HR plus HFP. Then it can be substituted in equation 5. Then we get TPM, which is equal to S plus ULTA plus HETF divided by UL plus HE, where HE is equal to HFB plus HR HFP divided by HR plus HFB, which is an effective heat transfer coefficient between absorber plate and the airstream. Hence, we can write TPM minus TA, which is equal to S plus HE into TF minus TA, all divided by UL plus HE. Then from equations 5, 6 and 7, we have m dot Cp divided by L2 dTf divided by dx, which is equal to S minus UL into TPM minus TA. Substituting the expression for TPM minus TA into equation 10. This equation to equation 10, we get the differential equation m dot Cp divided by L2 into dTf divided by dx, which is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus Ut divided by He into S minus Ul into Tf minus Ta. In an analogous manner to the liquid flat plate collector, we now define a collector efficiency factor F dash given by F dash is equal to 1 plus UL divided by He all raised to minus 1. Thus equation 11 can be written as m dot Cp divided by L2 dTf divided by dx into F dash into S minus UL into Tf minus Ta. In the derivation of finding collector heat removal factor, which we already studied, we have the rate of change of enthalpy of the fluid flowing through the control volume is given by dTf divided by dy, which is equal to W F dash UL divided by m dot divided by n into Cp into S by UL plus Ta minus Tf. Equation 13. That is, equation 13 is identical with the above equation. The solution now proceeds along the identical lines and we obtain the fluid temperature distribution as S by UL plus Ta minus Tf all divided by S by UL plus Ta minus Tfi, which is equal to exponential minus L2 F dash UL x divided by m dot Cp. Similarly, the useful heat gain rate for collector is given by Qu is equal to FRAP into S minus UL TFI minus TA. Here Fr is the collector heat removal factor, which is given by Fr is equal to m dot Cp divided by ULAP into 1 minus exponential F dash ULAP divided by m dot Cp. And in this AP is the area of the absorber plate, which is given by L1 L2. If the simplifying assumption of deleting UB from equation 2 and clubbing it with equation 1 had not been made, we would obtain the following differential equation instead of 13. We get the equation as m dot Cp divided by L2 dTf divided by dx, which is equal to F dash into S minus UL double dash into Tf minus Ta, where UL double dash is an equivalent overall loss coefficient. F dash and UL double dash are defined as F dash is equal to 1 plus UL divided by He all raised to minus 1. UL double dash, which is equal to UL dash plus 1 by F dash into UB HFB divided by HR plus HFB plus UB, where UL is given by UL dash is equal to UT plus HR UB divided by HR plus HFB plus UB, and He is equal to HFB plus HR HFB divided by HR plus HFB plus UB. Then the useful heat gain rate for the collector is then given by Qu is equal to FRAP into S minus UL double dash into TFI minus TA, where Fr is the collector heat removal factor, which we already said, and Fr is equal to m dot Cp all divided by UL double dash AP into 1 minus exponential minus F dash UL double dash AP divided by m dot Cp. Now we are going to discuss heat transfer and pressure drop in a parallel plate depth. In order to calculate the performance based on equation A or equation 18, we need to know the values of the convective heat transfer coefficient to the heated air. The situation corresponds to one of the turbulent flow with one of the long sides heated and the other insulated. It can be considered to be fully developed if the length to equivalent diameter ratio exceeds a value of about 30. The following two correlations are then appropriate if the surfaces are smooth. The correlations are Nu is equal to 0.0158 Re raised to 0.8 and Nu is equal to 0.01344 Re raised to 0.75 divided by 1 minus 1.586 Re raised to minus 0.125. Here Re is the Reynolds number and Nu is the Nusselt's number. Equation 20 is based on the data while equation 21 has been suggested by Malik and Bowlow. In the above equations, the characteristic dimension is the equivalent diameter DE is given by D is equal to 4 into cross-sectional area of the duct divided by wetted perimeter. Properties are evaluated at the arithmetic mean of the fluid inlet and outlet temperature, and the values of HFP and HFB are taken to be equal. Nusselt numbers can be calculated from equations 20 and 21. Agree within 10% for Reynolds numbers ranging from 10,000 to 20,000. These values are normally obtained in solar air heater applications. The dimensionless pressure drop in the duct can be calculated from the well-known Blasius equation, which is valid for smooth surfaces, which is given by F is equal to 0.079 Re raised to minus 0.25. Here F is the friction factor and the characteristic dimension is again the equivalent diameter PE. Now we are going to discuss the other type of air heaters. The first is the variations on the conventional type. In that, the first is the flow between the cover and the absorber plate. In this type air heater, the airflow is in a parallel plate passage between the cover and the absorber plate. The method of analysis of this type is similar to that adopted for the conventional type. Making the same assumptions and writing the energy balance for the absorber plate, the cover plate and the air flowing in between, we get the equations are for absorber plate S is equal to HFP into TPM minus TF plus HR into TPM minus TZ plus UB into TPM minus TA. Then for cover plate, the energy balance equation is HR into TPM minus TC, which is equal to UT into TC minus TA plus HFC into TC minus TF. Then for airstream, the equation is m dot Cp divided by L2 into dTf divided by dx, which is equal to HFP into TPM minus TF plus HFC into TC minus TF. In this HR which is equal to sigma by 1 by epsilon P plus 1 by epsilon B minus 1 into TPM raised to 4 minus TC raised to 4 divided by TPM minus TZ. It is to be noted that the top loss coefficient UT is based on the temperature difference TC minus TA, while the bottom loss coefficient UB is based on the temperature difference TPM minus TA. Then solving these equations 1 to 3, we obtained equation 18 and 19 for the useful heat gain rate and collector heat removal factor. Then the equivalent overall loss coefficient and the collector efficiency factor, which is given by UL double dash is equal to UT plus UB into HFC into HFP plus HFC into HR plus HFP into HR plus UT into UB into HFC plus HFP all divided by HFC into HR plus HFP into UT plus HFP into HR plus HFC into HFP. Then the collector efficiency factor F dash is equal to HFC into HR plus HFP into UT plus HFP into HR plus HFC into HFP all divided by UT plus HR plus HFC into UB plus HR plus HFP minus HR square. Solar air heaters of this type are simpler in construction than the conventional design. However, they yield lower efficiencies because of higher losses from the top. The next type is the conventional air heater with the continuous longitudinal fins. The addition of continuous longitudinal fins to the bottom side of the absorber plate improves the heat transfer. It increases the efficiency. We can analyze such a heater in which fins of height LF and thickness delta F are spaced at a distance W center to center apart. The distance between the absorber plate and the bottom plate is L. Then the clearance between the fins and the bottom plate is L minus LF. Considering a slice of width W and thickness Tx at a distance x from the inlet. Then making the same assumptions as we done in previous cases, we can write the energy balances for the absorber plate, the bottom plate and the air flowing in between can be SW dx, it is equal to UTW dx into TPM minus TA plus HFP into W into dx into TPM minus TF plus 2LF dx phi F HFF into TPM minus TF plus HR into W into dx into TPM minus TBM. Then for the bottom plate, the equation can be written as HR into W into dx into TPM minus TBM, which is equal to HFB into W into dx into TPM minus TF plus UB into W into dx into TBM minus TA. Then for air flowing in between, the equation is W by L2 into m dot Cp dTf, which is equal to HFP into W into dx into TPM minus TF plus 2LF dx phi F HFF into TPM minus TF plus HFB W dx into TBM minus TF. In this, phi F is the fin effectiveness, HFF is the convective heat transfer coefficient between the fin surface and the airstream. HR is equal to equivalent radiative heat transfer coefficient. Then, as we done in the previous cases, deleting the bottom loss coefficient from equation B and club it with the top loss term in equation A. Then equation A and B can be simplified to S is equal to UL into TPM minus TA plus HFB into 1 plus 2LF phi F HFF divided by W HFP into TPM minus TF plus HR into TPM minus TBM. Then second equation is HR into TPM minus TBM, it is equal to HFB into TBM minus TF. Then the third equation is m dot Cp divided by L2 into dTf divided by dx, which is equal to HFP into 1 plus 2LF phi F HFF divided by W into HFP into TPM minus TF plus HFP into TBM minus TF. The above three is the same as that of conventional air heater, which is given by equations 5 to 7. If HFP into 1 plus 2LF phi F HFF divided by W HFP term is replaced by HFP. Thus, the solutions given by the useful heat gain rate QU and the collector removal factor FR is QU is equal to FRAP into S minus UL into TFI minus TA, and the collector heat removal factor FR is equal to m dot Cp divided by ULAP into 1 minus exponential of minus F dash ULAP divided by m dot Cp. Also, the collector efficiency factor F dash is equal to 1 plus UL divided by HE all raised to minus 1. Then the effective heat transfer coefficient HE can be written as HE is equal to HFP into 1 plus 2LF 5F HFF divided by WHFP plus HR HFB divided by HR plus HFP. In order to calculate the performance of a finned solar air heater, correlations are needed for determining the values of the conventional heat transfer coefficient and the pressure drop. Tomba and Sugatme have conducted extensive experiments for this and suggested appropriate correlations. The Nusselt number is given by Nu is equal to 0.023 Re raised to 0.8 PR raised to 0.4. The characteristic dimension used in the definitions of Nu and Re is equivalent diameter D is given by D is equal to 4 into cross-sectional area of a fin channel divided by vectored perimeter of a fin channel, which is given by 4 into WL minus delta F LF divided by 2 into W plus LF. Then the correlation developed for calculating the pressure drop is given by F is equal to capital M into Re raised to minus small m, where capital M is equal to 0.040 into 2.058 minus L minus LF divided by LF raised to 0.313, which is for Reynolds number less than 15,000. Then for Reynolds number greater than 50,000, capital M is equal to 0.033 into 1.394 minus L minus LF divided by LF all raised to 0.408. Then the small m is equal to 0.075 into 3.40 minus L minus LF divided by LF raised to 0.711 for Reynolds number less than 15,000. And for greater than 15,000, small m is equal to 0.138 into 1.435 minus L minus LF divided by LF raised to 0.773. Here F is the friction factor. Then the next classification is two-pass solar air heater. Sadgunanathan and Dionari have suggested the use of a two-pass solar air heater in order to reduce the losses from the top. They constructed a unit in which the air was first passed between the covers of a two-glass cover heater and then under the absorber plate, which were shown in figure A. When operated as an open system with inlet air at ambient temperature, it was found that the outer glass cover temperature was lowered by 2 to 5 degrees Celsius and that it is operated near the ambient temperature. As a result, the losses were reduced and the efficiency of the collector was measured to be 10 to 15% higher than that of a conventional air heater. Subsequently, Vijay Sundara has studied the two-pass concept in greater detail both analytically and experimentally. Two two-pass flow arrangements were considered. One arrangement was same as that studied by Sadgunanathan and Dionari, which were shown in figure A, while in the other, the inlet air flowed first above the absorber plate and then under it, which was shown in figure B. For open systems with the inlet air at ambient temperature, both the two-pass arrangements gave an efficiency of about 10 to 15% more than the conventional single-pass arrangement over a wide range of operating conditions. However, for closed air recirculating systems, the two-pass arrangements yielded a better performance only up to a certain value of the difference between the air inlet temperature to the collector and the ambient temperature. With the arrangement shown in figure A, the two-pass design was found to be better than the single-pass design up to an inlet air temperature difference of 20 degrees Celsius, while with the arrangement shown in figure B, the two-pass design was better up to an. The next set of classification is the some novel designs. A number of novel designs have also been suggested from time to time by many investigators. Some of these will now be briefly described. They are the overlapped glass plate air heater, the matrix air heater, the honeycomb porous bed air heater, the all plastic air heater, the jet plate air heater. In the first four designs, the air flows through the absorbing surface. For this reason, they are referred to as collectors with a porous absorbers. Such collectors generally yield higher efficiencies than conventional designs. In addition, because of the larger flow areas, they have smaller pressure drops. In spite of these advantages, they have not been used extensively. A possible deterrent could be the fact that the air flow the air flows directly under the cover. As a result, a breakage in the glass cover or a cut in the plastic cover could cause a breakdown in the air heating system. Then, the fifth design also yields a higher efficiency but at the cost of a higher pressure drop. We can discuss in detail. The first one is the overlapped glass plate air heater. Here I show a picture of overlapped glass plate air heater. The overlapped glass plate air heater was first used in 1957 by Lowe in a residential solar heating system in Colorado. The heater consists of a series of overlapping parallel glass plates, the lowermost being blackened. Air flows parallel to the glass plates and between them. A honeycomb cell passage is used at the inlet in order to direct the air and to ensure that its velocity is uniform. The bottom of the unit is insulated. Selcook has analyzed the heater by writing the energy balance equations for each glass plate and airstream. Solutions have been obtained by numerical techniques and compared the experimental data. From these, it is seen that good efficiencies are obtained for moderate temperature rises. The next one is matrix air heater. Here is a picture for matrix air heater. In the matrix air heater, the fluid flows through a porous matrix on which solar radiation is directly incident. The radiation thus penetrates the matrix and is gradually absorbed. This is quite unlike a conventional non-porous absorber surface in which radiation is only absorbed at the surface. The inlet air is introduced at the top and is heated as it flows down through the matrix. This flow direction is preferred to the other possible arrangement in which the air flows up through the matrix in the reverse manner. The reason for this is that in the first arrangement, both the glass cover and the top surface of the matrix are in contact with the incoming air and are thus at the lowest possible temperatures. As a result, top losses are reduced. The matrices used have been made by stacking wire screen meshes or slit and expanded metallic foils. Hammett and Beckman have studied the absorption characteristics and temperature profiles in matrices made by stacking copper wire screens. With an inlet air temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, it is estimated that an efficiency of 75% would be obtained with a matrix air heater as opposed to a value of 58% obtained with a conventional solar air heater. The pressure drop in the matrix is also very small. It is estimated to be only 1 by 200 times that in the passage of a conventional heater. However, it is to be noted that the above estimates require a uniform flow through the matrix. This is rather difficult to achieve. The next one is the honeycomb porous bed air heater. The honeycomb porous bed air heater was suggested by Lalaudet and Buckber. It is a variation on the matrix air heater, a honeycomb being placed over the matrix. Because of the presence of the honeycomb, the top losses are reduced. Measurements made with a test module having a rectangular honeycomb yielded very high collection efficiencies between 78 and 67%, corresponding to the values of TF bar minus TA divided by IT equal to 18 and 53 degrees Celsius coulomb meter square per kilowatt. The honeycomb used was selectively reflecting. The ratio of the depth of the honeycomb to the smaller side of the rectangle was 7:1, while that of the two sides of the rectangle was 3:4. The next one was the all plastic air heater. All plastic solar air heaters capable of handling large volumes of air have been developed by Bensel. The heaters are fabricated from flexible plastic sheets and attain their shape because of the pressure of the air blown through them. The absorber is a porous black textile of polyester. It is attached at the edges of the two transparent sheets of the polyvinyl chloride and is covered by them from both sides. Ring holes are provided at the edges for fixing the structured heaters on the stand. 3 collectors were fabricated and tested, two having an area of about 10 meters square and the third having area about 20 meters square. All the collectors were about 1 meter wide. Different black insulations were tried, best results being obtained with a 66 centimeter thick polyethylene. With this insulation, one of the 10 meter square heaters gave an efficiency of 67.9%. With a flow rate of 770 meter cube per hour of ambient air and incident radiation of 659 watt per meter square. The last one is the jet plate solar air heater. The jet plate solar air heater was suggested by Chowdhury and Garg. Compared to the conventional air heater, in this case an additional plate called a jet plate is introduced between the absorber and the bottom plate. The jet plate has a number of equally spaced holes drilled in it. The air entering the heater flows in between the absorber plate and the jet plate as well as between the jet plate and the bottom plate. The flow M1 dot impinges out of the holes in the jet plate and hits the bottom of the absorber plate before mixing with the flow M2 dot. Thus, the flow rate M1 dot plus M2 dot exists from the heater from the space between the absorber plate and the jet plate. The impinging air jets increase the value of the convective heat transfer coefficient from the bottom of the absorber plate. This results in a significant improvement in the useful heat gain and the collection efficiency for the specific case of a spacing of 10 cm between the absorber plate and the bottom plate and a flow length of 2 meter. The increase in efficiency was calculated to be 26.5% for a mass flow rate per unit area of 50 kg per hour meter square. However, the authors have not calculated the additional pressure drop associated with the introduction of the jet plate. This is also likely to be significant. Thank you.